Hello there. It's the Way Show. It's another Sunday. My name is Wally, and it's so nice to be with you again. Well, 7 days just gone like that, and beautiful and wonderful to be with you again. Like I said, it's the Way Show. Please, if you're joining us for the first time, subscribe to our show, and don't forget to like all our previous editions, including the one you're watching just now. So subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. It's the Way Show Weekly on Instagram, and obviously keep following us and keep telling people about the Way Show. Um, Always tell someone to tell someone about the Way Show. How was your week? The past week gone. It's a new week now, and it's another Sunday, beginning of another week. So today's we're going to be talking about something really special, something that innovative, something that is starting to gain ground in Africa. So we're going to be talking about esports today. So esports, we want to know everything about esports. I mean, it's just I'll say personally, I'm an esports follower. I'm an esports player, but not professionally, not at all. But we're going to be learning more about what esports is today, and obviously, I will be learning so much. I've got quite a lot of questions to pop to our two wonderful guests joining us today. But first, I'm going to introduce you to one of the guests who is already with us, and we'll be waiting for the other one. Special welcome to Sayo Owolabi. Sayo is Senior Advisor Africa for Esports World Federation and also the founder of the Lagos ESports Forum in Nigeria. Shaya, thank you so much for joining us in this program. It's so nice for us to welcome you and for us to join you. So for you to join us, welcome to the show. Oh, okay. So we can hear Shayo at the moment. Oh, Shayo, yeah. Can you hear me, Shayo?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Am
Oh,
I on now?
okay. Yes. Yeah, we can hear
Can
you.
you hear
Yes.
me now?
Welcome to the show. Yeah, yeah. Loud and clear. We can hear you. So welcome to
All
the
right.
show,
I said
Shayo.
thank you for having me on. Thank you for having me.
Okay.
It's my pleasure to be here, and it's always a great time talking about esports and the strides we are making in Africa.
Wonderful. So we're going to be talking more about that. I want to know every of those strides you've taken. Okay. So esports. But well, before we go into the questions, at some point in time during the
Yes.
conversation I'll be having with Shayo, we'll have Kwesi Hayford, also president of Esports Ghana, joining us as we carry on the show. But at the moment, I've got Shayo with me. Shayo, Lagos Esports Forum. Tell us a bit about that, and also tell everyone that is watching what is esports.
Okay. Let me start by defining esports, and that's what I've defined as professional gaming. So there is gaming, which is what you do, because when we talked
Mhm.
about it off behind the scenes, we were talking about.
Okay, so
I'm
we
back now.
yeah, you're back now. Yeah, go on, Shayo. Yes,
Can you hear me now?
yes, we can hear you now. Yes, go on, Shayo, if you can hear us. Okay, we'll try and reestablish contact with Shayo regarding esports. It was just at the point of letting us know what esports is all about. What is esports? So he's going to let us know that once we reestablish contact with Shayo. And obviously, we're going to be talking about why the game esports itself is growing in Africa and what are the hurdles they've had to scale, jump over in bringing esports to Africa, and not just Nigeria. Because as if you don't know, esports is beginning to be prominent in some African countries. I'm talking about South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya. Shire is going to be talking to us more about that. Yes, Shire, if you can hear me, yes, we're back with you. One of the questions I'm going to ask you later on in the program is obviously regarding what has just happened now, internet connection. But let us hear your views on what esports is and what Lagos Esports Federation is all about.
Okay, so well, first of all, let me apologize. It's because I'm not in Lagos. If I was in Lagos, I'm sure the internet won't be like this. And no disrespect to my host here in Ibadan who's listening to me right now. Um, if I was home, I'm sure we would have a better connection. But all the same, let's just get the conversation going. The Lagos Esports Forum was founded in March 2020 by myself and a couple of friends and people of like mind who believe that we need an alternative to traditional sports, especially when Corona struck and traditional sports was actually rendered, in quotes, useless because it became something that everyone was using for. You know, when people are in crisis, sports is usually like something that takes your mind off it, that's actually serves as a soothing balm for you. And that was not available to people. And the truth is, esports now gain ground the world over, not only in Nigeria. We just felt like this was the right time to get this in motion, especially for those of us who have been doing this behind the scenes for so many years. I've been in sports media and marketing for 10 years. I've done a bit of esports, but not, like I said earlier on, professionally for about 3 years, you know, on and off. But this year became a necessity, and that's why our payoff our Lagos Esports Forum is activating the alternative. We started out with that, and our objectives are education, engagement, and empowerment. And we believe that those objectives are actually trajectory. So there is an upward movement. You first need to educate. If you don't train them, don't blame them. Education in esports is a necessity. We've not even done enough because what we are doing now is very, very informal. We do that through
That was getting interesting. I think.
like I said, we do that through a monthly sports conversation. Then engagement for comes in.
Go on, Shayo, if you can hear us. Go on. Okay, so we're trying to re-establish contact with Shayo in Ibadan, where he's at tonight. Yeah, Shayo, you're back with us. So if you can hear us, yeah,
I guess
you
I'm
can.
back now.
Yeah,
Yes.
go on
So let
then.
me
Go
just
on.
pick it up from where I am. So engagement for us comes in organizing competitions, comes in relating brands with the value that esports has. Because for us, we believe that even for brands, if you're going to evolve your digital strategy, esports can actually be something you can adopt. So we're also doing that, and that's why we got a couple of, you know, interesting organizations and multinationals come to partner with us on our mobile game tournament. And empowerment ultimately is getting to push young people to have a career in esports and build from there. So very trajectory move for us at the Lagos Esports. I'm also a member of the Global Esports Federation, which is one of the topmost esports organizations on the world stage. And yes, with bits and pieces to build the ecosystem in Nigeria and in Africa.
I'm so glad you mentioned the trajectory of development of esports in Nigeria, especially starting in Lagos State. And when I was preparing for this show and I was doing some research about esports, it's a very lucrative business. Okay, when he was starting out in early 2000s, mid 2000, it was generating about globally about 1.25 billion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's at that level where it's generating tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Recently in England, we had when the shutdown was at its height in April, we had the a Premier League Invitational, Esports Invitational. So we had FIFA
Yeah.
tournament played by Premier League teams,
Yeah.
represented by
The one won
and by
yeah,
Diogo Jota. Yeah,
Yota. Yeah.
yeah, and I was looking at it. We had about 150 million people tuning in to watch that. That's
Mm.
massive amount of people, and that's
Yeah.
imagine people advertising, and imagine digital marketing and communications going through that 150 million people. So
Exactly.
tell
Exactly.
me, in Nigeria, how have people accepted it on esports? And what are the advertisers saying? What are the big companies saying about esports? I mean, it's not football. It's
Mm,
something totally different. And obviously,
yeah.
necessity made you guys started, just like we've started our show because of COVID and what have you. So, how
Yeah.
people have accepted esports in Nigeria, and what are the advertisers saying?
Well, I'd say not entirely if it's about acceptance, especially from people who can make decisions for those who actually are the main actors. So we're talking about young people who still have parents or teachers or people who guide them. If they don't get those people to actually buy into it, it will be difficult because they will see it as mere leisure and will see it as a
Mm,
waste of time. It's like when people like myself were growing up in the 90s and you say you want to play football, your parents would simply tell you, go and read your book. It didn't make sense
true.
at the time, but by the time we came into
Mm,
the new millennium, parents were hearing about, young people getting 30 million pounds, 25 million pounds playing football, and they felt like, wow, this is what my child or my son missed. So that's the point we are in Africa at the moment. People still see it as leisure, people still see it as a waste of time. But not that's not to discredit some people who really are seeing a prospect in it and are seeing the potentials, and they're really giving their support, be it some corporates and even some individuals. And like I said, we are also creating that value chain, creating those things that they would see that makes them understand that there's actually a future in this. And like you mentioned, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry at the moment, totally worth 148 billion in resources, and in revenue we're talking about touching 2 billion before 2022. So it's a major in itself, it's a major industry, it's a fertile ground for people to actually look to explore. You also mentioned the viewership of the world championships, for example, in League of Legends is nearing that which we used to see with the Super Bowl, and we know how big the
mm,
Super Bowl is. So if there's an
mm.
esports or series of esports competitions that are rivaling the Super Bowl or even rivaling the NBA Finals, the NFL, and the NHL in America, then it's a big deal, and that's what esports is at the moment.
And the independent, as the Super Bowl of esports is called in Shanghai, had a
Yeah,
pool price of $34 million. That's quite a lot of money, for people to
big
tap
money,
into win. It's it's
big
it's
money.
massive. And do people in Nigeria, yeah, I mean, from what you've seen, and especially from being the co-founder of the Lagos Esports Forum, are people now beginning to get serious about it? I know you said you started using the trajectory model, educating all the way to. Have you
Engagement and
seen
empowerment.
engagement and empowerment? Have you seen a trend where people are now beginning to say, you know what, I think we're going to take this serious. I think I want to be like a big time gamer like No Tail and all other ones. Have you seen that, or are you seeing that process in Nigeria and indeed Africa?
Yes, it's happening. If it's Africa, yes, big time. If it's Nigeria, it's also happening. We've got communities in Call of Duty Mobile. We've got communities in PUBG Mobile, in PES Mobile, and series of other mobile gamers. So if there's anything at all for Africa, mobile is the way. We've realized that. First, the cost of console for the average Nigerian young person. It's huge. So if they don't get to play it with a friend who is privileged to have it or something like that, then mobile is usually the next recourse. And we've seen people actually aspire by playing on the mobile. We had a tournament. We just concluded the second edition of our mobile game tournament, which had the Call of Duty, and there were 23 teams. Each team has an average of 5 players, normally about 7 because there are 2 reserves. So with about 7 players in place, do the math, that's almost 150 players already.
Wow.
And these guys are young people who are aspiring to get on the global stage to actually get their skills on. And I can say it here that they have that platform in December. because the Global Esports Federation will be having the World Connected Series. We are privileged to be the official presenting partner at the Lagos Esports Forum for the whole of Sub-Saharan Africa. Over 40 countries. We're opening it up. We're playing on Call of Duty Mobile, and it is open to every country in Sub-Saharan Africa. So that's a big stage for them to showcase themselves. They will get showcased on our platform. They will get showcased on the Global Esports Federation platform. And that's as big as it can get for them. From there, they keep stepping up and getting better with the skills. So yes, people are actually accepting it. People are, looking forward to what is being offered by people like myself and my organization, and what we're doing with international partners like the Global Esports Federation, the Esports World Federation also, where I'm a senior advisor, and a couple of other partners, individuals. I've seen one of them even put a comment right in the comment section now, Danny Martin in America, Exposure. We're working on different partnerships that would actually accelerate the process of growth of sports in Nigeria and in Africa.
What do you say to the people that say we're not ripe, that Africa is not ripe for esports at the moment? Why? Some will say, well, we don't have the technology so far. We only rely on our mobile, and getting mobile data is quite expensive for some people, quite a lot of people, not just some people, quite a lot of people. And don't forget, the erratic power generation in Africa is also a minus. So what do you say to those people?
Well, you know that with mobile, you already have about 60 or 70% of the problems solved. Sincerely, because first of all, power is out. All you need to do is charge your phone and make sure it's ready to play. So power is out. Cost of infrastructure, which is getting a PlayStation console or a Nintendo or Xbox, is out because it's your phone. It's what you use to do the regular day activities of WhatsApp, calls, and on all that. So it's off it. Internet may be the challenge, but it's bigger on console than on mobile. We discovered it's easier with mobile. So yes, like I said, you've cut off about 70, 80% of the problem with mobile. And that's why we keep preaching at the Lagos Esports Forum. And thanks to one of my top guys in there, Ife Akintaju, mobile is the next frontier for Africa. It's the main frontier, not even the next, because we're just starting out. So it's the main frontier for Africa, and anyone who's thinking of doing something as regards esports in Africa.
South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya are set to be the guns in esports in Africa. And South Africa leading the way already, attracting foreign investments into esports. How soon can the rest of Africa catch up with this?
Oh well, can I disagree for a moment there?
And go on then, Sayo.
That may simply cast aspersions to my own Nigeria. But the truth is, if we're going to rate countries, we'll talk about the guys in the Northern African region. Let's not forget they're still Africa. Unfortunately, when they get to play, and that's exactly what's happening with the Global Esports tournament I talked about earlier on, they're seeded to the Middle East region. But they're Africans. So we can talk about Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, probably Tunisia. They're doing great stuff there also. If we're going to rate them, actually maybe ranking higher than even Nigeria. But hey,
really,
sticking with this narrative from you, we'll take that compliment in Nigeria and say that yes, rest of Africa would catch up, because some of us are really putting in the work to make them see us and see the potentials we have on offer. And what do I mean? I tell people, and I've said it on 2-3 platforms, including the Commonwealth, when we had a webinar talking about bridging the digital infrastructure. I said we do not need just an investor in Africa. We don't need people who are just going to bring money and be expecting ROI. We need partners in progress. So what am I saying? We need to work together through every step of the way. So if you know that something happening in your ecosystem as you're bringing the funds would help us, then we need to tap into that to build our own structure here. So what do I mean? You have a network that you've used to build your ecosystem, and you've heard that Africa has, say Nigeria, for example, has the numbers. So because if there's any reason why, which takes me back to your question, if there was any reason why Nigeria will be ranked, it will be our numbers. And the numbers are really great if there's anyone who can actually activate it and aggregate it. So aggregating those numbers works well for whoever will coming on board. So yes, we have heard that, oh, they have the numbers in Nigeria, 200 million people, probably about 10% of that is good enough. If we have them, doing esports and we're getting a bit of ROI from their performance or participation in esports. Yes, but you must understand that we need partners, not just the investors. And with that, there will be growth that will be scalable and sustainable. So it won't be just like a quick cash scheme. It will be scalable. It will be sustainable, and there will be a progress that everyone can measure and everyone can see. So yes, South Africa has set the pace, because the truth is things are happening that are core professional teams in South Africa. I really can't say we have professional teams here yet, because the guys, for example, with our tournament, are done with the tournament and probably off to something else until there is another tournament. But we're talking about people who are ready to face this all day, every day. So 10 hours they're training. We've seen it with the FaZe Clan of this world, the Fnatic, Cloud9 and the likes. That is a proper one. And we've got Goliath Gaming in South Africa and some of the other guys who are doing some fantastic job there. So yes, that's the level we want to get to, but it will take some work. And if we get partners in progress, like I've been preaching, then we're ready for it.
Shayo, we're going to go on a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to bring Kwesi in from Ghana. And my question would be for you to expatiate on what you mean by partners, not investors. Okay, so we will take a quick break, and when we come back, and Kwesi will also join us.
That'll be.
Hi there. It's the Way Show. Very interesting conversation we'll be having with Sayo Owolabi. Sayo is in Ibadan at the moment in Nigeria, and just Sayo is the founder of the Lagos ESports Forum, and we've been having some very interesting conversation about esports. I'm really excited about it because it's something I'm very passionate about. Why? Because I'm also an esports player. Joining me is Kwesi Hayford from all the way from Ghana. Kwesi is the president of ESports Ghana. Kwesi, thank you for joining us. We've decided to pull you all the way to talk to us about esports in Ghana on this Sunday night. And it's wonderful that you're joining us today. Thank you for joining us.
Hey,
so we're talking. You. Yeah. So we were. Yeah. Before we went on the short break, Sayo was telling me about the development of esports in Africa. And I know Ghana and Nigeria are like Siamese twins. Whatever Nigeria we want to perfect, Ghana we also want to toe the same line, vice versa. So tell me about your program, esports in Ghana. Before I go back to Sayo about the difference between partners and investor. Kwesi.
Okay, I would like to say hello to everyone. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loud and clear, Kwesi.
All right. Okay, so esports in Ghana has been going on for quite a long time. But I think before it's moved into esports, there's always been, let's say, the grassroots gaming centers or gaming dens that has been there for like 30 to 40 years, right? But it normally didn't see it as an esports hub, and currently even so it's not seen as an esports hub. Some of us run to these places. It used to be like, let's say, a movie center or video center where you go and you go and watch movies, and some transform them into gaming centers. So those outfits has been there, and I always recognize them as kind of grassroots environment for the growing of the esports outfit, because particularly me entering into the space, I got a lot of people who encourage me, and these are people who have built businesses just renting gaming facilities. And my first tournament, the all the consoles that I needed came out of a gaming center, right? And the owner willingly gave me all this, say, hey, use it for your event. And he came out, brought the gamers from his local hood, brought them to the event ground and make sure that the event was going on. And I always recognize that. So fast forward, now currently we have in Ghana, we have organizations that are tournament operators. We have organizations that are vendors that sells gaming peripherals and gadgets. Then we have, let's say, teams, also esports teams that are building themselves out. We have more teams in um, pro FIFA Pro leagues. We have teams that are specified in specific games, and such organizations are doing well in what they want. They have their focus that they want to run. So for us at Esports Ghana, our organization is much more like a trade association, right? Where we have different bodies. So we have esports or tournament organizers. We have even photography and media agencies, all part of us, because we want to bring that synergy where the technology, education, all the elements that makes esports viable and sustainable are also in the space. So our organization have a multiplicity of organizations, of entities that comes into play their part within the esports ecosystem in Ghana.
Oh, beautiful. You know what? I'm already thinking about having. I don't know if this is already in place, but I'm already having that sense of having a Nigeria v Ghana esports competition. Okay, to be sponsored by the Way Show. All right, we're going to have that. So it's something we probably we'll talk to you guys about at some point. Chayo, tell me the difference. Tell me why you say you need partners and not investors. Why I've said this is this. About 2 months ago, David Beckham, the famous footballer, bought over an esports team and invested and floated it. Well, actually, they floated on the London Stock Exchange for over 20 million pounds. Okay, so that's an investor. All right. So tell me why you said we need partners and not investors in esports in Africa, Shai.
Oh well, I'll debunk the fact that David Beckham is an investor. I'll say he's more of a partner on the guild.
Okay.
And that's because he's throwing his reputation online. He's
And his
opening them
money
up.
too, because he's bought 25% of that team.
Yes, and he's opening them up to his network. We know what Magic is presence on the team, actually on the guild esports team did for them getting on the Lagos on the London Stock Exchange.
Stock Exchange, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's a big deal for you to do much more than just put money in. There are other things you can do. There are other doors you can open beyond just the money. Because the truth is, when you put the money and there is no sustainability plan in place, don't leave that to just the guys on ground. And like I've said it once before, I said we can only see as much as what we have in our ecosystem, be it Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, or what it's not. But if you come in, bring what is available maybe in London, India, we've seen Malaysia also coming through, and you show us what's happening there also, then it's a big deal. And I know you know about the very popular chicken franchise, which is all over the world. They don't leave the guys who are on the franchise to their whims and caprices. They still have them on a mega brand that coordinates the marketing activities. That shows that they want them to grow. It's left to you to either take the advice or not, but you are not just a franchisee who they're putting money or you're putting money in them, because it works both ways. But there's something beyond you just doing the normal. Would open you up, they may open the people up to see what's happening in other climes, so you can adapt, modify, and adopt for your market. So that's exactly what I mean by we need partners in progress, not just investors. Yes, we need the money to be fantastic. I'm sure Kwesi is seated there and thinking if he has $2 million, it would set Accra and Kumasi ablaze in esports wonders. And I know the magic he can do. We've seen him, wield his magic there. And we can say the same for us in Nigeria. And it's not just us. There are other people who are also playing in the space. And if we get this investment coming in whatever shape and size, we would actually do much more than we're doing right now. So yes, our investors should also be our partners who would open us up to much more bigger potentials than just the money.
I think that
Go on.
I agree with I agree with him 100% when we say that within the Africa ecosystem and space is not much more about investors, because our roadmap is quite different from other continents, right? Whereas our terrain boils down to culture, boils down to social interventions, boils down to so many factors that comes into the space to make sure that esports becomes sustainable. And as Shayo is talking about partners, I normally call it collaborators, because the two words are almost the same thing.
Almost the same, isn't it?
Yes, and I've written an article on why Africa needs to collaborate and why we need collaborators and partners in the same space.
Not investors.
Yes, because it's not something that you want to throw money and you see the physical manifestation right now, right? But if you want to be a partner, then you know that I want to go a long war with Africa, whereby you're looking at 10 to 20 years. You want to build brand loyalty. You want to build an integrity with whatever investment. And you just don't want to say, okay, I'm going to put in, let's say, $2 million and expect that the next year I'm going to get that $2 million. It won't happen. It won't happen in Africa. But if you want to say, okay, I'm going to put in, let's say, $2 million, and I'm going to make sure that in the next 10 to 20 years, that $2 million is yielding results, right? And you're going to put in yourself into the space and grow it with the people on the ground, just like Shayo said. That means that it's going to happen for you. And you may not probably live long enough to see your investment, but definitely that investment will touch so many people's life.
I asked Shayo question about the fact that technologically Africa might not be up there. 4G, some parts of Africa probably still have 3G for their mobile data for 4G. Why here on the other side of the divide, on the other side of the world where we're thinking about going to 5G, and mostly the people that play esports here don't usually use the mobile anyway. Everyone's got the console because you've got very reliable internet connection. You can play. For example, I play my daughter, my son play games, play esports. I will play with people sometimes in Egypt or Morocco or Tunisia, probably in Brazil. All you need to do is make sure you've got internet connectivity. How is it in Ghana? I mean, Sharon's talked about Nigeria issue, and I know it's peculiar to that. It's an African issue, really. But I just want to be sure that it's the same in Ghana. That do you also use mobile esports game?
Yes, the mobile esports space is growing very fast, and as it is in Nigeria, so it is in Ghana. I mean, mobile penetration in Africa in Ghana is very huge. The numbers are so. You look at the devices that people are having now, and the economy is actually one of the areas that is really fast growing, and be it fintechs or these 4G internet connectivity is being. We currently have about four to five 4G networks. You understand? That is to tell you that there's fast growing. And let me just come back to this fact that Africa, people think that Africa is slow in catching up with technology, but think about it this way. We receive the end product of technology.
Mm.
You understand? So whereas maybe US will go through the phase of maybe 1G, 2G, 3G, 5G. By the time they've developed 5G, and when they come into the system into Africa, we jumped over 1, 2, 3, and we are at 5. So when it's coming to us, let's take for instance, next gen consoles are out now. In the next 2 or 3 months, next gen consoles will be in Nigeria, will be in Ghana. We are the receiving end using the end product. And I know that 5G is coming to Nigeria. And guess what? Our own people are also crying for 5G as well. So we have a shorter lifespan getting the technology in place. Once the technology is available all over the world, Africa at the receiving end, most of the developing countries get it. The unfortunate thing is that we don't have the masses adopting. That's where accessibility, education, affordability comes in. And once it becomes like that, we have more people getting into it. It's not that the technology is not there for us. It's much more getting people into it, the masses into it. And that's how I see it. Because now currently we have 5G, 4G networks available, but also the stakeholders, what I call the telcos who are in the space, making it accessible to the masses. That's a problem. We have problems with networks sometimes, and we have problems with, let's say, electricity sometimes, but it's not all the time.
That's a very well thought of insight, Kwesi, and thank you for that, guys. Esports, it's very popular among youths, and like I was reading one research that said 80% of people that play esports are usually under 35. Well, that might be wrong because I'm well over that. But I still enjoy esports.
You're in the minority.
I am in the minority anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I still enjoy esports. Esports is huge. I mean, in the past, it used to be people, very huge, humongous. People used to think in esports in the past, you know, advertisers were like they'd be shying away from putting their money into esports, marketing or whatever. It used to be just probably telecoms people advertising it. Now you got banks, you got car factories, you got everything advertising in there. How's it been for you guys? I know it's been very tough. It is very tough. It's been very tough for you guys because it's a brilliant idea you guys have come up with. Very, very brilliant, and I must commend you for it. But have you guys been surviving without all these funds coming in, advertisers not coming in, partners not coming in? So using Shayo's words now and Kwesi, I want to be careful with that with my mention of investors, partners not coming in. And you see other countries of the world in Asia, esports is like mega big time. You know, in Europe is mega big time. In America, it's mega, it's big time. So how have you guys been surviving? Is it an issue of people not really understanding that, guys, esports can really take advertising into your bedroom, you know, into your anywhere you are? Is that the issue, or are people are taking their time to warm up to esports, so to say? Shayo, let me hear your views first.
I'll say create the value, they will come rushing. The first time we had mobile game tournaments, we had a digital bank, and we had the chicken company. I don't know if I can mention brands on the show.
If you mention it, they have no choice. They have to come and advertise with us.
You know, the multinational chicken brand. supporting
think
us
I know
on the
that.
first edition. Then on the second edition, we had a new startup esports academy and another service restaurant jumping because they saw what the chicken company did. So if you create value, and that's something a friend told us both on our esports conversation and in a private chat. His name is Eric Landre of Fanatic. He's the head of events at Fanatic. They have the brands you mentioned, the car companies. They've got an home appliances company jumping on them recently just before the World Championships in Shanghai, and all that's in place. So create value. That's what we tell people. Unfortunately, in our own side, there are a couple of people who have gone ahead to say they are playing in the esports space that didn't do it right. We can't really hide behind the shade and say some of these things. But the truth is they didn't do it right. So they already created an impression with some of these prospective sponsors or organizations that we now got to. And we're showing some things that was, making sense to them. And they were like, oh, so some people came before and said this and, they didn't see these things. And yes, it takes me back to one of our objectives, like I told you before now, education. Education is a major issue for esports in Africa because for everybody in it at the moment, even the gamers do not know how high or how well they can with this thing yet. And I'm sure Kwesi knows. We're even teaching gamers to promote themselves on social media. And you're wondering, is that something I should be telling you when you know that someone can get on social media? Wale and Yomi, I've never met you guys before. You probably, definitely, not even probably, you definitely saw me on social media, either LinkedIn or Twitter. And that's because I'm pushing some of the things I'm doing on those platforms. And by every standard, there are people who have reached out to me and have seen the things I'm doing, and we've done stuff together, partnered, and all that. So yes, it's educational. So people are not catching on. But at the same time, we have very, very routine mindset in Africa. So if there's something they're doing that works, they want to stick to it, in spite of the fact that there may be something bigger. So even the digital agencies who probably should have been selling some of these things, and that's why we are stepping into this space, to these brands are not doing it. And that's because they themselves do not even know. And like I said, I remember my first chat with Danny Martin. I told him you need to take a course for digital agencies so they can see that those brands you're handling will soon run away from you because all you come and tell them is do sponsored posts. Oh, let's do giveaway. Let's do giveaway on social media. Let's do promo on social media. Yes, that's a strategy. When you know that you can actually pull in more people with an esports strategy. And that's what we will take to them. And that's what we are selling to them. And we've seen it grow over time. And it will get better. Yes, it's challenging now. Truth be told, it will get better. And that's the way we see it. Give value, the brands will come rushing.
Kwesi,
Yep.
Esports gamers all over the world. I mean, when I say about gamers, I'm talking about the professionals now. Names like Notel, that's Johan Solsten. I don't know if I pronounce his name well. So professionals made over in his short career as a gamer, has made over £6 million. That's about $7 million in earnings already just in esports. That's a huge sum, huge amount. Okay, can tennis, the competitions in Africa replicate this? Can they produce the likes of Johan in Ghana, in Nigeria, and how soon can that be possible? Bearing in mind what Shaya just said now about educating not just the digital marketer, the advertising company, or what have you, but the individuals themselves, but players who don't know, we need to be on social media to, promote ourselves and stuff like that. So tell me, is it possible for us to replicate that person, that individual, and how long do you think that is possible?
Well, it's possible to replicate that. You could look at football and how now we have great talent in football in the European League and the La Liga and all the other big leagues in there. And most of these big legends like JJ Okocha and all these big guys, they started playing at the backyard, right? Play on barefooted on the on that dusty parks, but they didn't give up. Yeah. So the first thing, as Charles said, education. I call it. I say awareness, acceptance, and recognition. And these are the three things that I normally use. Say that the awareness is basically the education. You have to create awareness about it, and a part of what Shayo said, also creating value. In creating awareness, you're creating value for sponsors to see, because most of the time you can't tell people how esports is. You have to show them. You have to, bring them to this. It's an experiential stuff. You have to experience it. And you see, some people experience it differently. And sometimes when you approach a partner and he doesn't see it that way, he will never come and sponsor it again. But if you create the value, right, people will come and sponsor. And in that sponsorship deals are ways to create talent and amplify them. And rightly, as you said, education is part, and taking them, giving them the essence of what they will be if they take this thing seriously. And I think that it's not only about talent, it's also about character development. Giving back to these young people and showing them, hey, look, it's not just playing game. There is a profession to it. It's just not being a gamer, but you want to be an athlete, and you want to be an artist as well, and you want to be not the artist kind of a musician, because you, as a game, you bridge across different walls, right? Because you can be a content creator, and you can be a pro gamer, and you can be anything that you want to be within this digital space where everything is possible. So for me, I think that yes, it will take us probably 5 to 10 years but within this 5 years, once we get certain infrastructure stuff going on, I mean, more talent, more tournaments, as I said, the only proof that people are really engaging and is to give them tournaments, right? The more, so I tell my gamers, never refuse to participate in any even small tournament, because every tournament builds up your profile. Because if I see you tell me that you are an esports pro gamer, I'll ask you, how many tournaments have you played? Do you have a practicing schedule? You understand? Do you have a practicing schedule that, okay, I play this amount of day, even if you don't have internet? How many tournaments are you playing? What was your first? What rankings are you? How are your peers seeing you? So all these things comes into play. And I believe that also, I think that apart from the tournament, some initiative in creating academies. I've said that if I can pick 10-year-olds and 13-year-olds and train them in FIFA or any other game, I train them from now to maybe like 3 years from now. When they turn up to be 17 to 20 years, they will be pro gamers. Because what will be that it's you giving them the foundation. So now what Shayo and me and all the other guys are doing, we're creating tournaments. But these tournaments are bedrocks, right? For them to really bring these new talents. So I'm always happy when I see a young new guy win a tournament, not the same old guys win the tournament. Because once a new guy wins the tournament, okay, right, we're doing great work, right? Because new guys are coming into the scene and they are beating these old new champions and becoming big. And we're seeing more people coming into the space. So the tournaments out there have a kind of bring in some education aspect, education in the sense of educating the gamers, because the education will bring in all new. I know Shayo and Danny Martin working on some great education stuff for for Africa. And I believe that once those education staff start rolling, parents will see it more seriously, because it's not all about sitting behind a computer and playing games, but you building team, you building integrity, you building, they are finding this as a way of building themselves something great for the future.
Sayo, say I want to start a esports team. What does it take for me to start one? And I'm just asking this question because I know some people out there watching will be like, this might be interesting. It could be something I probably want to partner in or with. So how do you come about starting an esports team?
Okay, I think the first thing you should do is choose your focus areas, because you can't have gamers in everything except you have that kind of capacity. And even if you do, it's safer to start with 1 or 2 titles. So you need to choose the titles. So you probably would have maybe a FIFA player because of the popularity in Africa, and then say maybe a Call of Duty or PUBG. So with that in place, then you start shopping for talent. So you can decide to go 2 routes: poach talents that already exist in teams, or you decide to create your own system of recruitment, which may be a tournament. So you have a tournament where you will select, and of course you would have communicated right from the beginning that this is a tournament that would birth new players for your team. So at the end of the tournament, you've selected the best players from across the teams, or maybe playing as individuals, even if it's on Call of Duty, even if it's a 2v2, to say, oh, I'm choosing this talent and I'm going to use them to populate my team. And with that in place, you start shopping for tournaments where they will get to participate in, because that's how they will grow. Like Kwesi rightly mentioned, the more tournaments you play, the higher you go in visibility, and of course in how well you do. And hey, like I said earlier on, I expect our team to be professionally run. So we're thinking of possibility of a team house where they can come in and train. Because the truth is, you don't expect them to train at home where there will be distractions. So if they have to come in and go, usually it will be better. Because if you say you're setting up a team, it's a professional thing. It's safer or better for them to even stay in there, do everything in there. You're watching their nutrition. Because there's another thing we're not even yet matured to get into in Africa, and that's health and nutrition of gamers.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Just like the footballer watches what he eats, what he does, how he sleeps, and all that. The health of the gamer is very important too.
Yeah.
I remember one
Definitely.
of the speakers, one of the webinars have been on the ITU's AI for Good seminar, talked about you looking away from your screen. Sorry, I'm practicing it now. For 20 seconds, 20. For 20 seconds, 20 meters away. I can't remember the third one. I'm sorry. But the 20 rule, I'm sure some of the people who are watching know that. So the health of your gamers are very important. So you need to set all that in place for them so that you can get the best from them. And with all this in place, I don't think anything else is missing. And yes, you pay them good so that they know that this is a career and this is their job that they're focusing on, and they would actually get better doing it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're running out of time now. Kwesi, what's the state of play of esports in tertiary institutions in Africa, especially one in Ghana? I'm going to post that one to you, and Sayo in Nigeria. So what's esports like in tertiary institutions in both countries? So I'll start with you, Kwesi.
Okay, so when it comes to tertiary institution, I'll start with senior high schools, and I'll say that for Ghana, it's not existence. And it's a pure culture thing of clueless by the heads of school, because we tried approaching some of the schools, trying to do a high school esports league, and even when we took equipment to some of the schools to show them this is how it's going to be done, they didn't really buy into it. And so we're looking into another strategy, bringing in the education aspect. When it comes to the university, what we've done is we've created, we have 3 universities now that has esports, let's say clubs, right? Their league is supposed to start this year. But unfortunately, because of the COVID, the students are home, so nobody is on campus. So the Uni Esports League is, but what the beautiful thing is that they've gone ahead looking for sponsors already, so that once the student come on campus, and this is also to tie in with what you asked earlier. How do you start esports club? What I would say is start a community, create a community around your gamers, and once you create a community, you find some good guys that are strong in some particular game, then you can kick off from there as well. So normally we start creating the community. So we created a community in one university. They found their niche. We created another one in another community. They found their niche, and that's how we started esports clubs.
Sayo, in Nigeria.
Not existent too.
Okay.
Guys play. It's more like not aggregated. So they have the communities, but there is no formality that makes you say that these guys are, like my definition at the start of the discussion, are doing it professionally. So they're just doing it because we all love to play FIFA, or we all love to play whatever other game it is, PES and all that. So it's just that. So if we're talking about aggregation, that is not happening. And that's one of the things we are looking to do, because we have a fantastic lady who's doing something with 6 to 18-year-olds. And the next question I asked, because when I got to hear about what she's doing, I said, what happens to them after that time? And nobody could give an answer. And I told my guys, this is where we should take it from. So that's actually the tertiary institution age. So because the truth is, you will lose them. And that's what happens. We lose a lot of talent in Nigeria, even in traditional sports, because there are things that you do and you get into university and they make it seem like you can't do anything else, or else your GPA would be swimming in the lagoon. I went to Unilag, so there's your GPA is swimming in the lagoon. So it creates, that thing in you that makes you want to just face your academics squarely. But the truth is, you can jostle the two. And that's what we're seeing out there in Europe, in America, and this year. So it's very, very important. And that's why we are looking into that as part of our strategy for 2021. And yes, we have a couple of people we're also talking to about that. So yes, if there are more people who will look into that, it's a welcome development, and we're willing to work with them.
Guys, before we leave, questions. One answer each, yeah?
Okay.
Shario, Xbox or PS? Or just say PS5?
Oh my!
Oh, you want to send to me?
Yeah. Nice one.
My.
Well done, Kyle. Well done, Shario.
Oh yes.
Well done.
Just kidding. I won't mind. But it's PlayStation for me, definitely. I hope that doesn't shut the door in Xbox if they're watching this to give me something. But
the door is wide open for everybody.
It's PlayStation, and that's because it's actually more accessible in Nigeria. That's the thing. Averagely, you go to anybody, like I told you, I'm in Ibadan now, in my friend's house. The first thing I saw in his room was PlayStation 4. So PlayStation actually for me.
Kwesi.
Maybe it's cultural though.
Yeah, maybe.
It's all about community, right? If I want to connect to Shayo because Shayo has a PlayStation, I'll go for PlayStation as well, because it's a matter of connectivity and inclusiveness, right? If you're on a system that is nobody else have, you only have like 2 friends have it, and then there's a system that about 50 friends have it, where would you be?
True.
Definitely PlayStation is huge. That is also to say that Microsoft should work hard and make sure that they bring in their system, because it's the two system is affordability is about how these systems are available to people to work. So for instance, if let's say Xbox says if we want to sponsor a whole school with Xbox, that's making it reaching it out to a lot of students who are going to use that same system to play and they once they get attached to it, they want to grow with it.
And that's a very
Um,
valid point. Kwesi,
it is.
sorry, Wale. That's a
No,
very
no problem.
valid point because we see Microsoft making a lot of inroads into Africa on the technological level. If they're really serious about developing esports or gaming, then the Xbox penetration needs to be improved. And they can achieve that, like you mentioned, with development in schools. We see um, um, organizations set up a center and call it Microsoft, maybe Microsoft Esports Center in schools in Accra, Kumasi, Lagos, Ibadan, Port Harcourt, and that would be a fantastic idea.
Definitely.
Maybe it's something we guys can work on. Well, for me, I always say PS. Okay, I was watching PS5, and I'm also a student of FIFA and Call of Duty. My children love Fortnite. Okay, so
Okay. Yeah,
yes,
Fortnite is like the new generation's
exactly.
drive,
Yeah.
So yes, it's a new.
But Microsoft can really, we're working on a project where we're trying to teach kids Ages of Empire, and it's a Microsoft product, right? I don't know if it is imported to Xbox, but such a game teaches management, population control, resource control, all those, and personally, it's helped me. One of the early games that I played, and I still play, I still have it on my laptop that I play because of the immense share of knowledge that you will learn. And so if Microsoft really want to come in, they should put that. And as Shao said, send down some few consoles to schools.
Yeah, to work.
We will do all we can to reach out to Microsoft and see what they will do. Boys, thank you so much for your time, for coming on the show.
Thank you so much.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, we could go on and on and on. I mean, this is something, apart from football itself, gaming, I can play all day. And my children and my missus know that, So it's been so interesting talking to you. We will definitely catch up. So much we can do together. We will be keeping in touch with you guys, and hopefully we would all join hands to take esports to where it should be in Africa. Thank you so much for joining us, Shayo and Kwesi. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, have a good night, both of you, and we will definitely keep in touch. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Yeah, before. Wow, what a day! That was really brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Those discussions with Shai and Kwesi. Thanks again, guys, for coming into the show. Before we go, don't forget tomorrow, the football show Monday is gonna be live, 8 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m. Nigeria, and I suppose it should be 9 p.m. also in Ghana. Please, you need to confirm that. Before we go, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's made comments on the show. Sorry, because today's edition was just packed full with questions. I was not able to take all your comments, but I just quickly take a few of them. See this, as Shane said, sports bring people together and the world together, definitely. Exposure said the conversation is powerful. Thank you for that. Sandra Sylvester, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for always joining us. Ijoma, thank you for always joining us. Exposure also says something about this. This is an eye-opening perspective and the bottom of technology. Yeah, we all want to make sure that technology works for Africa. And just like Kwesi said during the show, it's something that will obviously further the development and of the game esports itself. Thank you, Mick, for joining us. Olani Lee, thank you so much for joining us. You said you've learnt a lot. You wish you never stopped poker. I hope you won a lot before you stopped poker, though. Hopefully someday we will probably bring someone in to talk about poker. Well, that's not my cup of tea, though. Well, thank you, Olani, for your comments. Thank you, every one of you that's made comment today. Please don't forget to subscribe to the show. When you subscribe to the show, we have quite a lot of people on as subscribers to this show. We'll be able to bring you more interesting stuff like we've done today. So thank you, every one of you, for joining us. Special thanks to Sayo in Ibadan today, and obviously Kwesi in Ghana. Thank you so much, guys, for coming on the show. And for you out there watching the show also, thank you. We do hope you have a very wonderful week ahead. And same time next week on Sunday at 8 o'clock. Espasa says hello. Thank you for joining us late. So next week, same time, I'll be here and hopefully bring you something more exciting as it was today, which again, I said I thoroughly enjoyed. Thank you for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe on the show and tell somebody about the show. Okay? Have a good night and have a wonderful week. Thank you.